right, looks like LG's future has just went from being bad to really grim. So, in case you probably watched my video talking about how LG is saying that their next flagship may not be called the G7. It's probably going to be rebranded as some sort of double-digit number. And you would think, oh, okay, so they're rebranding the phone, so they're making changes, they're trying to sell more phones, their smartphones have not been very successful, so I mean, that's it. They're going to rebrand, and we'll just see how that works. Hopefully, LG will announce this phone at Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, and hopefully it sells this time. Well, their future, as I said, went from bad to worse, and that is because LG is now saying that their next, not their next smartphone, but they might be getting away from the annual smartphone release game, and I'm assuming that's because they're not having much success with their current G and V series phones, and so now they just want to focus on making more budget-oriented phones, or when they do come out with flagships, they can't afford to have them come out as often. And so this news comes from the Korea Herald. LG's electronics vice chairman Cho Sung-jin, Stephen, please tell me I'm pronouncing that right, has said in an interview that, quote, "We will unveil new smartphones when it is needed, but we will not launch it just because other rivals do." And in case you guys are wondering, the reason is because LG has noted that this change was due to retaining a good platform for a long time and rising concerns over the supply of lithium components. However, the company has long been struggling financially with smartphones. And I've also picked up that LG has actually had more success more success selling budget phones, which ding ding ding, one, it shows that that's where LG is most well known at this point, and also because cheaper smartphones sell better, especially if your name is not Samsung and Apple. As I've said in many of my videos, I think a big reason Apple and Samsung, despite, people will scoff at how expensive their flagship smartphones are, it is still Samsung and Apple. They still have that really high brand equity. So even if you hear somebody say on the internet, "Oh, fight the system, I ain't buying those expensive Samsung or iPhone. I'm probably going to pre-order a Galaxy S8 in the next 5 seconds, but fight the system." So yeah, I'm sort of in the same barrier too, although I tend to buy budget phones that have powerful hardware. I mean, like I said before, here is my Nexus 5X. I actually paid around $300 when this came out. It originally sold for $380, and I have an iPhone SE which I spent $450 on, which that was actually my sister Penny who bought that. So thanks to her. But yeah, it's kind of a real sad thing, because as I've said many times, especially over the past month, that I think LG is a really good brand. I don't want to say they're underrated, because I know people have heard of LG, but people definitely don't associate them with the premium smartphone market the same way they look at Samsung and Apple. And I know that LG's not as big a brand, so they can't advertise their phones as much as the two latter brands. But they could have been known as that third option. What I'm honestly hoping is that LG goes from the premium smartphone market to something like, let's say, a OnePlus or ZTE, where they sell a fully featured phone for like $400 or $500. Because if LG is finding more success in the budget smartphone market, that clearly means that people mainly associate them with mid-range or budget phones, or as some people would put it. Oh, that's the Korean manufacturer that's not called Samsung, right? Which I feel like that's how LG's always been known, even outside of smartphones. So I honestly wished they did that, especially now. Like, could you imagine if they came out with, let's say, their next flagship, you know, if it's not called the G7, which I'm pretty sure is still going to be announced at Mobile World Congress, even if it's under a different name, that if they came out saying, you know, hey, like, because, like, I think LG is more a well-known brand than something like a ZTE or OnePlus, and I honestly think they're a more reliable brand. Like, if they came out saying, you know, hey, we're the LG we know, you know and love, and now we're coming out with our next flagship, let's say it is the G7, and it's going to cost them $500, and it's going to have the Snapdragon 845, a 12 megapixel dual lens camera, and a near bezel-less screen, like on the G6. So I think if they did that, and also put some more money into their advertising, especially on TV, I see a lot of LG ads on like the internet, especially when they came out with their first OLED TVs, but I don't see them on TV as much. Yes, LG isn't as big of a brand as Samsung, so they can't have as big of an ad campaign, but people still know them, and I think if they advertise, especially on TV a little more, it could really help. Yes, you know, I do think that cable is going away. While it is slowly dying, their ads are still much more like TV ads still have a bigger impact than social media or website ads. So yeah, I'm hoping LG, if they do decide to focus on the budget smartphone game, they start to make their flagship phones more in the budget range while still putting powerful hardware. Because like I said before, even when a phone costs like $700, that's usually much of that comes from profit margins. A lot of the how much it costs to make the actual phone, it costs like $250 or $300 to make the phone itself. So I think if LG wants to improve their brands, they may have to take a bit of a loss and go into the budget smartphone game with powerful phones. So alright guys, this has been Blood Moon Bobby. Like I said in my last video, I hope you guys are enjoying this new format. Comment below if you have any objections or even compliments. I welcome them all. So, yeah, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, this has been a Blood Moon Bobby video. Please like this video or dislike it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.